Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 13th of July 2024. National Rally's lead isn't sustained and France's surge to the right is contained. Starmer and Labour set off like a train. Russia bombs all of Ukraine again and a children's hospital goes up in flames. NATO maintains its main aim of supporting Ukraine until Russia is tamed. Concerns about Biden remain after he mixes up names. But for a shooter's poor aim, Trump's life would be claimed while out on campaign. Anderson plays his last game. English cricket will never be the same. This week the USA was barreled by Beryl, who had already caused the Caribbean much peril. The hurricane that at times reached Category 5 had destroyed infrastructure and taken many lives. And though it fizzled out when it reached Arkansas, climate scientists had seen nothing like it before. Geographical and meteorological norms had been shattered by the length and strength of the storm. Just 3 days after Britain's political shift left, France's left the right unexpectedly bereft of enough votes for National Rally to take control from a position of leading after the first of two polls. In the first vote they had come out on top and many thought they probably wouldn't be stopped. But 2 weeks later, in this second ballot, the French, it seems, had a change of political palate. How did their taste for the right suddenly sour? Probably because many didn't want them in power. In the second round, turnout was a much higher tally, new voters coming out just to block National Rally. So overall the messages were there in plain sight. Thumbs down to Macron, but the way ahead still ain't right. So France is left with a left-leaning coalition, but with too many voices to make clear decisions, and President Macron is a nobbled politician. Compare and contrast with what we now have in Britain. Here Labour have seemingly hit the ground running after months of knowing their victory was coming, secured toward Britain before heading stateside, forming bonds and networking with leaders worldwide. Back home, all departments announced things planned, like building new homes on every spare bit of land. But from Energy Secretary Ed Miliband, it's not clear if North Sea oil drilling will be banned. The depths of the dark web Gavin plumbed, sharing sick fantasies with like-minded scum. In his mind, Holly Willoughby was to be snatched, then raped and murdered, and her body dispatched. The 37-year-old's plan, though, didn't get off the ground, but creepy paraphernalia in his home was found, and Plum is now, for at least 16 years, jail-bound. So women can sleep a little more safely and sound. In the small town of Bushy, another celeb fell victim to the evil of a pointless pleb. John Hunt is a TV horse race commentator, a charismatic and much-loved communicator. But on Tuesday, a man with a crossbow took the lives of two of his daughters and Carol, his wife. Friday at Lord's and West Indies were being battered, but the result of the first test wasn't what mattered, because the home of cricket was witnessing the end of the career of a British sporting legend. Since his test story started, he's doubled his age. At nearly 42, he's now reached the last page. As a wicket taker, he's been a record breaker. James Anderson has often been England's dream maker. The 75th anniversary of NATO on Thursday was preempted by one of Ukraine's worst days. Many cities were bombed, including Kyiv, the capital, where a cruise missile hit a children's hospital. Russia claimed they didn't intend the atrocity, they had misdirected their act of animosity. But of course, in Washington at the NATO summit, they all knew Russia had intentionally done it. And so more long-term support was pledged to stop Ukraine toppling over the edge. But the summit's lasting image in many minds was the American president's fluffing of lines. One gaffe in particular it's hard to excuse, as Biden got Putin and Zelensky confused. He only momentarily mixed up the two names, but it was a head-in-hands moment all the same. He'd just had Zelensky with compliments showered before introducing him as the Kremlin coward. And now most of the world has reached the stage of being focused only on Biden's age and thinking it's becoming such an impediment that he cannot possibly continue as president. Meanwhile, from Trump, we've heard hardly a squeak about Biden's unravelling in the last few weeks, displaying uncharacteristic caution and stealth, presumably feeling Biden can hang himself. Then on Saturday, this tale of two fogies took a twist. A guy called Thomas Crooks was consumed with red mist. At a rally in Butler, he shot at Trump's head, narrowly missed, and then he himself was shot dead. Trump had dodged a bullet, but it was near. The former president had been clipped on the ear. And within earshot there were many what the fucks as the assassin's intended target, Donald, ducked. He was then hauled off stage by a security ruck, and after this stroke of luck, Trump showed some pluck, with a repeated call to fight and a fierce fist pump, a defining campaign moment for Mr. Trump. An iconic image imprinted on the world and soon printed on t-shirts and posters unfurled. Biden's response was calm and apposite, all right, but does nothing to help the Democrats' plight. And his words can't stop the flames of discord to ignite. Trump's call to fight was noted by every Trumpite, while his foes, for now, keep their feelings out of sight and hateful, hurtful words behind lips sealed tight. Words like, "Why wasn't that slug an inch to the right?"